Welcome to the podcast, the podcast about podcasts. I'm your host, Avery. I'm here with Julia, Mary, and John. And we're about to learn y'all something good about these podcasts and recordings. So, firstly, we have our survey on podcast recordings by Mary.
All right, let me share you the results. A survey was conducted to determine how our family and friends that live in Atlantic County consume mass media, specifically mass media of music recordings and podcasts. The survey was conducted through Google Survey and distributed via social media and text. A total of 54 respondents participated in the survey. 61.1% of the respondents were female, while 38.9% were male. The demographic was limited to adults only, and the biggest population was the 18 to 25-year-olds, which covered 40.7%, and followed by the 46 to 55-year-olds, which covered 25.9%. All of the respondents listen to music recordings. That's 100%. But when it comes to podcasts, only 53.7%, that's slightly above half, listen to podcasts. When asked how much time they spend listening to these forms of media, for music recordings, the most popular answers were 6 to 7 times a week, and they spend 31 to 60 minutes per day listening to music recordings. When it comes to podcasts, the most popular answers were 1 to 2 times a week, followed closely by less than once a week, and they usually listen to the full show. The most popular genre for music recordings were pop, followed by hip hop, then rock. The most popular genre for podcasts was comedy. When asked how they accessed or listened to these forms of media, for music recordings, the most popular answers were radio stations, followed by paid streaming service, followed by free streaming service, and then they would purchase their music online or offline. And then we have one very honest answer of illegal downloading. When it comes to podcasts, the most popular platforms were Spotify and iTunes. The most popular activity while listening to these forms of media were, for music recordings, commute, work, cook, and exercise. And for podcasts, they actually do nothing. They give it their full attention, followed by commute, work, exercise, and cook. These are the results of the survey that was conducted from March 30th to April 5th.
A very nice survey presentation by Mary. I would say I learned a lot right there.
Me too, I agree.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
The sponsor of today's podcast is Entercom Communications, now called Odyssey. Recently, they rebranded to Odyssey to emphasize their role in the audio business. They're based in Philly, founded in 1968, and they're the fourth largest radio company in the United States. They merged with CBS Radio in 2017. In 2020, their revenue was $1.1 billion. Odyssey engages over 170 million consumers each month across its connected platform, including the Odyssey app and website, over 230 radio stations across 47 markets, influential chart-topping podcasts, and premium live music experiences. They host events and they broadcast music, entertainment, sports, and news radio stations. You can also find their podcasts on their website or their app, which is available on Apple, Android, and other smart devices.
Thank you, Intercom. Without no Intercom/Odyssey, there'd be no podcast. Now we have some new trends from Jonathan, the wolf guy.
When looking at what's popular based around the recording genre, there are multiple areas that are adding new trends. This is to keep the genre trending in the right direction and to make an effort that sticks with the consumers. When looking at why recordings are still being successful and working as well as they are, it's because of the innovations that are being made. Looking at the trends that's been on the rise in the present time would be remote recordings over the internet and virtual reality. There has always been something special about having people get together in the same room to feed off of each other and create music for the recording industry. However, more recently, it can be logistically challenging to get everyone in the same physical space. Nowadays, many people send tracks back and forth to contribute to a song, even if they never step foot in the same room. This has been even more important because of the fact that COVID has made it more difficult to create recordings or podcasts in person. Remote recordings over the internet offers the best of both worlds. Groups of people can work together in real time while being in different places all over the globe. All the benefits of being able to feed off each other and communicate are possible. Within the last 2 years, this has been bigger and more important. Another area that's also been important in having recordings trending upwards is the addition of virtual reality. Virtual reality recordings have been a recent invention. It can record and create podcasts over virtual reality for other people to listen and view. People can even create recording sets from the past that we can view in modern day. Since this is a newer trend and invention, it's still being worked and optimized. Overall, recordings are a very popular genre in the media to this day, and it has a lot of trends. The newer trends such as remote recordings over the internet and virtual reality recordings are on the rise and will make the genre better within the future.
Thank you, John. Very trendy. Recordings would be the best because it's easy. It's just you can just turn it on and do whatever you want. Like the survey showed that like you can listen to recordings while you're driving, while you're at work, while you're cooking, while you're doing anything. You don't. It's not. You're not as invested into it as you would with like a book or a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like you could be doing something else, but also be listening to a podcast in the background, or like you could be doing homework and you could also have like a streaming service on in the background. It's really you could do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like TV, if you're watching a show while folding laundry or cleaning your room, you're gonna like pause and probably pay more attention to the TV than to whatever you're doing. While if you're listening to music or a podcast, there's nothing to look at. You're not looking at anything that will take your attention away from what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different like genres for podcasts as well. Like it really, if it's whatever suits your fancy, but like it's just whatever you can do, you can just fit it in and you can listen to it at any time of the day.
Avery mentioned books. There are actually books that are being recorded so people can listen to it while driving and so
Exactly.
it's
That's
just
how good it is.
Especially like with COVID, it's a lot easier to make a podcast or music and social distance than it is to make a TV show or a movie. It's just easier.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more popular on the upwards because more people are like stuck inside or just don't want to go out, so they just listen to podcasts more often, and it's
Yeah.
creating more in general.
And now a live interview segment with future Avery and a very special guest.
Hey, what's up? My name is Dookie Brown Flow, one half of Second Womb.
What company do you work for?
I work for multiple companies, actually. I'm actually an independent artist, but I work in succession with companies. Right now, I'm dealing in quantum finances. So I'm dealing with this company called Unicorn Network, which is a part of the Safe Zone, which is a part of a digital asset, which is a part of the quantum financial system. So I'm just working with companies that are working for the betterment of humanity.
I didn't even know that.
Keep it short.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your exact job in that? Or in
my
the
exact
industry?
job? Well, my exact job is to make people smile.
Right.
I'm an artist in myself, so my main profession is just me touring and performing. As an artist, I'm independent, so usually my days consist of me doing what I want when I want to do it. But I choose to route my days in motion of helping people, feeding people, doing anything I can do in the community to make the community a better place. So with the Safe Zone specifically, what I'm doing is, or I'm part of this network of people called The Biggest Talent. Well, we have a show every year called The Biggest Talent. It's basically like American Idol. So we'll throw basically a live talent show in Las Vegas every year, and the winner of this talent show they could be from anywhere around the world. Anybody can sign up to win and enter. But the winner of the talent show comes to Las Vegas and gets paid $1 million if the community votes them as the biggest talent, I should say. But that's my main job and focus on with the Safe Zone, but I've also been selling the currency as well.
What made you want to be an artist, or what made you want to work with the Safe Zone?
Well, the Safe Zone just came into my life. What made me want to be an artist is that I've always been one since I was young. Music and my creative outlet has always been the way that I was able to express myself. So artistry just came as a byproduct of me just living. But with the Safe Zone, I wound up getting into this blockchain just through knowing the blockchain and knowing the technology that's coming forth on the world. And I told myself when Bitcoin hit 20,000 the first time and I missed out on everything and I wasn't getting any money out of Bitcoin, I told myself I would never mix the next financial shift. And
Right.
YEM is the next financial shift in the sense that if we think of Bitcoin, we think of Bitcoin as third generation finances. If we think of YEM, when you think of the Safe Zone, you should think of that as 5th generation finances. So
Right.
this is going to take the world to a whole entire different place because the YEM is actually backed by assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, lithium, copper, real estate, anything you can think of, honestly.
Why do you feel like the recording industry is more important than, like, say, newspapers or books or TV and that type of stuff?
Well, music itself holds a frequency. I mean, everything holds a frequency, but music itself, when it's pinpointed, when that frequency is pinpointed, it's so much more potent. So anyone knows anything that you make into a song is able to be catchy, and if you're able to be catchy sonically, then you're able to emotionally control the people that's listening to your music in a sense to where, music has a subconscious and a very conscious intent to it when you're making it. So people who make music are able to manipulate the thoughts, feelings, and matter of the individual who are listening to the music. So I feel like music is the most important because of the simple fact that of the emotional attachment that you can get with the music. Even though you can get the same thing with TV shows and things of that nature, music is the gateway to the soul, honestly. There's nothing that you can do. Everyone loves music. No matter who you are, every culture has music. That's our common ground as people. So music connects us as beings. I feel like music is most important just off that simple fact, honestly.
All right. If you had special powers for one day, what would you change about the music industry?
Special powers, what I change about the music industry?
Yeah.
I would change the lyrical content. I would. I would change
you don't gotta be able to rap
subject,
no more. Just make a melody.
I would change subject matter. How about that?
Right.
People's subject matter. I would make them rhyme about something that actually means something.
What media sources do you consume on a regular basis, and how does it affect your life?
Video sources.
Media sources. So like.
Oh, media sources.
Yeah, like Instagram, the news itself, that type of stuff.
I mean, Instagram, obviously, because I'm an artist, affects my life because that's how I get my product and my awareness and brand out there. I'm on a lot of alternative news media. Y'all probably don't want to know about the news media I listen to, but it's a site called foritsnews.com, I believe, and that's like that's all clear cut news. Stuff no bias type of news. It's just
right.
Raw, straight news. I listen to stuff like that. I got a lot of people on YouTube that I follow. I'm always on the Safe Zone. The Safe Zone, like I said, is a conglomerate of companies that have come together for the betterment of humanity. So I'm always on there. You can do things on there like win the lottery. You can do things like on there like get a free prize every 10 minutes. If you go to Prize Mania, you can do things like pro or no. You can make YEM. You can make currency as you're being on the site. So a lot of that takes up my day.
Do you have any closing words? Anything you want to give to the people before we go?
Anything I want to give to the people? If you're alive and breathing, then you are doing better than 99% of the people who have ever lived. So make sure that you are staying true to yourself, staying tuned. Definitely make sure you breathe when you drink water. Be sure to tell water that you love it because water is completely intelligent and it holds the energy that we give it. So your body is 75% water, 80% water. So make sure that you're telling yourself the right words. You're breathing properly inside of your diaphragm. Breathe in 7, breathe out 7. make sure you're staying grounded. Go outside, take your shoes off, and connect back to the earth. Get those negative and positive ions from the planet itself. And other than that, man, spread the Dookie all across the planet. Wash your hands, keep expanding. I say that that's right. That's my music. So my name is Dookie Brown Flow. I'm part of a duo called Second Womb. Me and Father Earth make Second Womb. If you want to go find my music, you can either go find it under Dookie Brown Flow, DOOKIE Brown Flow, or under the name Second Womb on all social media platforms, on all streaming platforms. Go check me out. Yeah, man. And that's about it.